You are now entering the Thick Goddess Energy Morning Show. We in the building. High priestess in the building, didn't let my fears kill me. Transmuted my pain in that cleanse in the rain. Found out I was working and I conquered my demons. I accepted my purpose and the goddess I became. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Of course, my hair is doing whatever it wants to do this morning. We're just going to be like, whatever. Wake the fuck up. Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is your Thick Goddess Energy morning show. And I am your host, Ariana, aka Divine Moon Goddess, coming at you with some real ass shit. I have to remember Thick Goddess Energy morning show. One of the things I want you guys to remember is this is the show to be motherfucking watching. We definitely will be switching this over to podcast sooner than later. Yes, I'm excited. But I still, of course, will be live for some of them. Although I will have a lot more pre-recorded versions, you guys. It is what it is. And we just have to go with the flow. Good morning, Nini. Good morning, Lashina. So good morning. It's Monday. Hopefully nobody's having a fuck Mondays this morning. I actually got a lot of sleep last night, so I wish I was feeling rested, well rested. But I jumped up at like 6 something this morning, and I was like, yeah, no, let's try this again. And then I got up at around 7 something. So I got up around 7 something and was like, okay, maybe I need to get some work done. And so in the morning time is my paperwork time. So in the mornings I get up and kind of handle paperwork, office duties and shit like that. The stuff that I cannot stand, but it is a part of the business, right? Good morning, Sakori, packing orders and things like that need to be done for the business. So that's the morning time. Good morning, Crystal. Whereas the afternoons, of course, get into appointments or meetings or whatever it is that I got going on. Good rise and shine, Ryan. So it's Monday. Who's having an awesome Monday? Hopefully you guys are all having an awesome Monday. And you're not letting the Monday blues kick in, right? You're not letting it get to like, oh man, I gotta be up. Kiddos are at school, all of that good stuff. Today's couple, of course, remember this morning show is brought to you by Divine Moon Goddess Healers and Readings.com, where all of your questions get answered. No real big specials, but again, you can definitely go and book. You can book me. All right. You want to go deeper into your life. You want to get some shit kind of sorted out in your life. You want to see if a business, deal is worth the venture, then definitely get in my inbox, or not really, go to the website, book tons of services. I don't just do tarot, you guys. I do a lot more services. Oh my God, don't make me yawn. Looking at your fucking emoji and made me yawn. How do you yawn off of an emoji? I don't know. You're going to take a nap soon? I tried the nap thing last week. And I just couldn't take the nap during the day. My mind is like, we got shit to do. Get up. Get up. We got shit to do. So no naps for me, especially not right now. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe I'll try it again this week. I think sometimes naps can be good if you can get it. But if you just lay down and you can't go to sleep, then it's like you're just extra tired. Yeah, try not to let Monday get to you guys, okay? We're also brought to you by Shanti Rentals Inc. So if you want to, of course, sponsor the morning show, if you want to donate to say thank you for the awesome content coming your way, information is in the description on where and who to reach out to for those things. The biggest thing is you don't have to have any questions coming to me. I am a vessel of spirit, so spirit is going to give you what you need, not necessarily what you want, right? So if you've had a one-on-one with me, you definitely know how that goes. Um, the way that I read, I touch the soul. So we're going to go into the shit that's happening in the soul. It's not going to be your superficial shit that you want to know. Like spirit's going to bypass that. If you want a superficial reading, go to somebody else. That's all I could say. You want a superficial reading, go to someone else because spirit's going to keep hitting the shit that you need in the soul, right? Good morning, Evelyn. I know some people have contacted me about classes. You guys, I do not have any live classes as of now. Hey, Sky. Love you too, boo. Um, I do not have any live classes as of now, as I don't have any time for those. I'm looking at the fall as we're building the new platform that I keep talking about. It takes time to build these things, and there's hiccups along the way, right? So right now, all I have is the pre-recordeds, but I am willing to set up workshops with anyone who does the classes. So I'm willing to do like a workshop or a one-on-one and kind of work out any kinks or any questions that you may have should you take the class. Right now, the classes are way cheaper than what they would normally be live. So that's a plus also. Any questions about the classes, get in my inbox, of course. Any questions about shit, anything, get in my inbox. If you missed my crystal live sale, go check it out on the Divine Moon Goddess page. Had some cool deals yesterday on the crystal live. I don't think I have any new products. I have a couple if you haven't been on my crystal live in a minute. Let me see. This is the month of April. Tomorrow I'm gonna have a cool morning show as it's the 100th episode. Can you believe that? The 100th episode. Like 100 episodes of this motherfucking morning show. Like, how cool is that? So I am gonna do a little giveaway and do a little celebration. I'm not gonna say little. We're gonna do a celebration tomorrow, right? We're gonna do a celebration to just say, hail to the motherfucking yeah. Having a great Monday. Awesome. This is 99. This is the 99th morning show. Like real shit, right? It's like holy shit. But I fucking love it. I fucking love doing the morning show. And it's crazy. Like, how do we even have that much to talk about, right? How do we even keep this shit interesting? But I think when you're coming with some real shit, it is what it is, right? Good morning, Marty. So tomorrow we're gonna celebrate 100th episode. You don't want to miss it tomorrow. I don't know what the topic is gonna be. Who knows what the topic is gonna be? Because I always gotta come with some crazy shit. But today's topic, if we're gonna get into today's topic, I'm trying to think, am I missing anything else? What else am I missing? I kind of feel like I am missing something, but either way, um, today's topic though is about what are you willing to sacrifice, right? That's the topic. So when we're going through our lives, right, and we're planning, like I'm going to use a couple examples of there's always some type of sacrifice in our lives or our direction or what we want, right? There's no not, because sometimes you're not aligned with other people in your life. So there's always a choice to sacrifice either what you want or what they want in that moment, right? Exactly, right? You can't fucking real shit, right? Real shit, Shondell. um, so let's say it's a relationship, right? Let's talk about relationship because relationships is always one of the biggies, right? In a relationship, sometimes two people are not on the same page what they want, right? One person may want to get married, the other person is like, I'm not ready. And sometimes after time, one person is getting very antsy because they're not getting the marriage that they want. Well, in that moment, you have to sacrifice. Do you sacrifice what you want, which is a marriage, right? To be patient and wait for your person to be ready? Or do you say, fuck it, I'm going to go find someone who's ready to marry me? You know, it may sound shitty, right? Because it is. Like, honestly, it is, right? If you can't be patient with your person and work with them, then, I mean, how serious are you about this person? There will always be a sacrifice, you know? Um, when you're getting older, women who are older, and it's like, I want more kids. I don't want to be too old when I have kids. And let's say, you don't have your person or whatever. Do, do you sacrifice that dream, you know? Or do you just go settle down with anybody because you're like, well, I want more kids. Let me just have more kids. So I feel like there's always going to be a sacrifice, right? A business. You want to start a business, you're going to fucking be busy. You're not going to have time to socialize like you used to. You just won't, because you'll be wearing 20 different hats in that business while you're creating it and putting it together. So the sacrifice is the social life, right? Um, Everything that we do comes with a sacrifice. And sometimes those sacrifices are hard because there's things that we want. There's things that we want right now. And it's hard to accept when it's not time, even though you feel you're ready for things, right? But you have to remember the sacrifice. What are you willing to sacrifice? Is the person that you're with, is it worth the sacrifice of not getting the very things that you want? Is the job worth the sacrifice that you put in every day? That maybe you don't ever get that raise that you want. Is it worth it staying there? So again, you're always going to have to sacrifice something to either be patient or to accommodate somebody else, right? Oh, thanks, boo. I am gonna make it a podcast. I'm working on it. I'm working on it, boo. Boss not treating you right. Yeah. So, in those moments, you're gonna tell yourself, what is it that you're willing to put up with and deal with? And it's a sacrifice, right? If your boss is not treating you right, in those moments, you're gonna just be like, fuck, do I stay here? Is it worth the sacrifice to stay here and be treated like shit, right? Is it worth it? I don't ever feel like a job is ever worth being treated like shit. I don't. I think if you oh, your boss said you're fired, well, be like, all right. I mean, I don't think it's ever worth to stay at a job because you are replaceable. I don't care how good you are at your job, you're replaceable. We like to think that we're not replaceable, but we are. And I have had the unfortunate experience to be a boss, to be a manager in many different senses. Even in my group, the Soul Tribe, which, even though it's a group and it's it's a place where we come, it still operates. It has an operational flow. Unfortunately, as a business owner, the business owner will replace your ass in 2 seconds because they have to. It's not even a want to, it's a have to. It's what's the needs of the business. So you are not non-replaceable. You may know that you bring like this, that, and the third to the table, but the business will fucking flow with or without you there. This is why we always are saying, like, take care of yourself, because if you die, they're going to replace you any fucking way, right? So if looking at things, what is the sacrifice? And is the sacrifice enough? Is it worth it to stay there? Right? Right, Shondell. You got to have patience for that, right? Because if you do it the wrong way, then you could potentially fuck up the whole flow, right? And so sometimes it's just like, no, fuck that, I'm out of here, right? But no, sometimes you got to sacrifice and say, okay, the sacrifice is I'm gonna take my time, I'm gonna plan, I'm gonna save the money, I'm gonna get the money together, and then we're gonna do this in these steps. And in those steps, there's the sacrifice. But in that aspect, you're like, well, you know what? That sacrifice actually will pay off. that sacrifice is worth it. And this is why you have to look at it and say, is this worth, is the sacrifice worth it? Oh, yeah, I don't think I would like that. Hopefully he doesn't hold your checks just to be an asshole or something like that. Good morning, Divergent. Right. Exactly. Even that working overtime, that's one of my biggest regrets. And I try not to keep regrets, but that's one of my biggest regrets is the overtime when my daughter was little. Because I was a single mom and it was rough. I was not, I did not get like cash aid and food stamps and shit like that because I was a working mom. So I didn't get no help in that way, didn't get child support. So I working overtime, yeah, I was paying the bills. Yeah, I was making money for that one day off that I would finally get off, and then we would just go crazy and go anywhere. Where do you want to go? And splurge and spend. But I missed so much of her life that, I was at work or, pretty much at work or trying to get like a couple hours of sleep so I could fucking get to work. I remember even falling asleep, standing up at work at times because I'd be so fucking tired. So I do regret that when I look back. That's one thing I regret. All of those hours that I put in doesn't substitute the time that I could have had with my daughter or should have had with my daughter had I have just been okay with having less money. And because I came from a poor life as a child, I didn't want my daughter to be poor. We were never rich, but we were okay, and we weren't poor. And I didn't want my daughter to have to deal with that. So the sacrifice I made at the time, which felt right, now that I look at it, I'm older. It's like, what the fuck? Why did I choose that? And I understand why I did, but then I look back and it just it wasn't worth it. It was not worth the sacrifice I made to miss my child. At this point in time, if I was to have a kid, and I say if, because we never know, right? I wouldn't sacrifice my time like that to make more money. I just wouldn't, because I know we'd be okay. And I know I would want to be there in the child's life and make those memories because their childhood is everything. You know, TV, PlayStations, Xbox, and all this other shit, it's not gonna replace you in their life. You are everything to your child when they're young. Now, once they get to their teenagers, they don't really give two shits about you. They have their own life. But before that, they really like, mom, dad, where are you? you know, and you could give them all of the money, clothes, things, material shit. None of that will matter at the end of the day. When my daughter got older and we would talk about these things, and the biggest thing she complains about is feeling abandoned, feeling alone. And that's not, there's nothing I can do about that but apologize as a parent. Like, damn, all I wanted us was to be okay and to have this money and this structure, but it was never enough. That overtime was never enough. And you would work all of these hours and still only have like a couple extra $100 on your check, because taxes would be like, your overtime would be a couple $100 in taxes. So all of that OT you made was like, where the fuck did it went to Uncle Sam? I worked for Uncle Sam. Oh, sorry about your doggy, Divergent. Right. I think you got to also look at it like sometimes spirit is telling us to move our asses, because if someone's going to hold your paycheck for 3 weeks, that's rough. So maybe it is like that push, right? That push to do something else. Right. Right. My daughter has one of those jobs too, Sakori, where she works from home. And there was a time like a little blip where she was like complaining. And it was like, you can't complain. You work from home. You get to see your kids when they get home. You get to eat dinner with them. You get to wake up with them. You're actually very fucking lucky. Because a lot of parents, don't have that or can't do that. So the way the workforce, and if you notice, like a lot of people talk shit about COVID, right? But COVID actually opened up so many stay-at-home jobs where you could be at home and work from home. And so a lot more people are able to be home with their children. So as fucked up as it is, COVID actually did some beautiful things for a lot of families, by opening it up and having people being able to be home. You know what? I think I don't think there is different types of poor because there's a mindset. You could be in a poor mindset. You also can be in a lack energy, what we call a lack energy. And so that lack energy will keep you, no matter what you have, will keep you feeling like you need more. When you feel like you need more, you're constantly striving for stuff. The bad part is if you learn and get connected to the universe is telling you to stop trying and start receiving. Okay, you got to change to receive the blessings and not be chasing the blessings. And so most of us, when you're in a lack mindset, you're chasing money, chasing leads, chasing people, because you're lacking, especially with love. So spirit is always telling us to turn it around, right? And receive. Stop running after everything, because that is actually pushing shit further away. So you can be in a lack energy and fuck up your blessings. You can. Oh, congratulations, Lashina. Congratulations. Yeah, me and my daughter have worked out a lot of things, Mandy. We have. And I can't take that away from her that she felt like that, because it was true. I was not home all the time. I was working. I used to bust my ass, and it's rough when you look at that, you look at that and you're like, damn. And the only reason why she understands that is because she became this working mom that got obsessed with wanting money because she didn't want them to be poor, didn't want them to be this. And then that took her away from them in the earlier years where there's a lot of stuff she missed. So now, she's like, damn, I want to do this. And she, does take the time, and they go out and do their mom and, son shit together. So it's like, she's built her relationship better with them. So it's kind of like the learning lesson. And I'm glad she's learning it way earlier than I did, and able to correct some of the behavior of thinking that money is everything, because money is not everything. It's great to have, it's great to be financially free. And if you can be smart and do some things to kind of like set yourself up with passive income and things like that. Passive income is awesome. Really look into it, right? If you can set yourself up with some things like that, great. But if you're constantly working, you don't get to enjoy the money. You just fucking don't. Anybody on here can tell you, if you've been someone who's worked multiple jobs, even this, when I went from working for someone to working for myself, it's been nonstop. Not to say that I haven't took a couple trips and I haven't took some time off, but it's literally been non fucking stop, where I am working. And after so many years, you start to get tired. And you have to take your breaks, and you got to kind of just back away, like, fuck, I need a break. So no matter what you're doing, is it worth it? Now, for me, I could tell you my work has been worth it. Everything that I've done, the sacrifice. So the sacrifice behind what I've done is I've had to let go people. I've had to let go and push away from family and friends. I didn't have that social, not that I didn't have that social time. I chose to give up the time to put into my business. Instead of that time watching Netflix or watching Hulu, I put into watching documentaries and learning and perfecting my craft. So when you're looking at the sacrifice, ask yourself, is the sacrifice worth it? And people might not understand your sacrifice or what you're sacrificing to get what you want done, right? They might not understand that. But at the end of the day, it's you who needs to understand your sacrifice. And it's you who needs to sit there and say, okay, I'm willing to go through this to get to where I need to be, right? Right. I don't know if I could live out in the country though, Divergent. I'm too much of a city girl. Right, right, right. We always have to try to change. Um, right, Debbie. Great. The grandkids will. My grandkids do the same shit. They'll just be like, Nana's always working. And I actually have to tell them, like, I work, but I actually love what I do. There's a difference. There's a difference because that's what they see. I am constant. And see, there was a time where I was always available with my grandsons. Like I was a hands-on grandma. So I was the one that was always there. Me and them always did everything. I'd take them to school, I'd pick them up. So they were constantly in the car with me, home with me. We'd go to SeaWorld. I mean, we used to have passes to SeaWorld. Okay. So SeaWorld was like every fucking weekend. Um, so now that they're older, it's just like, damn, grandma's always, Nana, they call me Nana. Nana's always busy. Nana's always busy. Nana's always working. And it's just like, well, yes, now I'm a little selfish with my time. It's like, yeah, I'm building something. I'm an owner operator trucker. I pay a percentage to use the dude's truck. I have my own contract. All right. All right. Oh, I get it. I get it. I get it. Oh, okay, okay. You just maybe need to find somebody better to work for that's, you know what I mean, that doesn't have like the shitty kind of tendencies. Yeah. You do because it's different as a grandparent, okay? It's just totally different as a grandparent. You're not one you make a big impact on those kids' lives, okay? Good morning, Jacqueline. Good morning, Sasha. You definitely make an impact on your grandkids' life. Um but you are not kind of like liable for the shittiness of their life. So the parents take on everything. The grandparents get to just show up and like be there, and be that place to escape from, and be that person that they can talk to without feeling like the backlash of mom and dad going off. And that kind of like, you're going to get a realness from grandma, or you're going to get a different kind of love from grandma, and you can't do no wrong you know And it's crazy because I remember when I used to discipline my daughter, my mom used to cringe, like if I was beating her, and I was like, I barely hit her. It's like my daughter can remember the few times that I actually whooped her ass, right? And as a grandparent now, I understand it because I don't like when they're getting disciplined, and I've had to like remove myself from it so that I'm not overstepping on my daughter, because I would start to overstep and she would be like, "Mom, you can't do that. You can't just be, jumping in and like defending them. They're in trouble." And I'm like, you know what? You know what? You're right. You're right. I need to go sit over here. You need to just go over here. Well, your baby is 21 now. I think he'd be okay if you went back to work. Yeah, and then you can hand them back, You give them back to their parents and you're like, "All right, I'm done." Spoiled them, gave them all the fucking sugar. We did everything we want. Now you deal with them. Right. And I didn't have that. I wasn't raised with grandparents. So I didn't know my mom or my dad's side, as a kid. I knew of them. And I remember seeing them a few times, not my grandfather on either side. I didn't meet either one of those. But the grandma on my mom's side, I met her as a kid. So I didn't grow up with grandparents. I don't know how that feels. I just knew when my daughter had mine that I wanted to be a different grandmother. I wanted to be one that my grandsons knew me, that they knew who I was, that they knew me, and that they knew they can call on me, and they do. They know to call Nana whatever they need or want. They're like, Nana's rich. They apparently think I'm rich. I don't know why they think I'm rich, but they do. And whatever they want, it's like, Nana, we got pictures. Okay, let's buy the pictures. Nana, we have a fundraiser. All right, let me buy something from your fundraiser. Nana, we got this. All right, you know. I just try to make sure that they know that while I'm living, they have somebody to come to, and if they need me and they're in a jam, I'm here. I think it's important for them to have that. Oh shit! Congrats, Sasha. I hope you get it. That's awesome. Yeah. And sometimes people just get older and they just are like selfish. I can tell you that I am a little bit selfish with my time right now. I'm not as available as a grandma as I used to be. I used to be a lot more available and I'm not, and it's not nothing against the kids. It's that, when you've raised kids for a long time and you get to a point sometimes where you just like, it's about me right now. And I can't say what your family is doing or how they are, but I know like right now I don't have a lot of time to be that full on grandma every weekend. I don't. The only reason why I see these ones because they live here. If they didn't live here, I wouldn't see them as often. I would probably see them once a year, um, because my time is limited. But again, that goes back to the sacrifice. What are you willing to sacrifice for the things that you want in your life? We want grandparents to be there all the time, but that's not necessarily reality. That's something that we've created in our minds, right? I can't speak for your grandparent, the grandparent and step grandparent of yours, but it just depends. It depends on what are you working on in your life, and that's why I say everything that you're doing, ask yourself, is a sacrifice like worth what you're willing to lose? A lot of when you started going on your spiritual path, what happened? You started losing people left and right. So at some point you had to say, the sacrifice of losing people is actually greater to my spirituality. That may seem very selfish to people, but it is what it is, right? Good, good, good. I'm glad. I'm glad. Show them how to earn it. I know some people, there's a little bit of controversy over making your kids work for chores. Like if they're not going to want to clean up their own house and expect to get money when they're older or some shit like that. I don't know how effective that is. My daughter didn't earn money to clean up. Well, I didn't come from that house. We didn't earn fucking chore money. I'm sorry. We just did chores. You fucking live here, you clean up. There was no, you're going to earn money for taking out your own trash. There was no, like, you're not earning money from washing your fucking dishes. Like, we didn't get that. So I was not the parent who did chore money. Just didn't do it. So I don't know. I mean, did that hurt or hinder my kid? I don't fucking know. Yeah, some of it may just be, Heather, though, you have to take your preconception of what you feel a grandparent is. A lot of our disappointment in people is what we feel that they should be, and we're not just accepting them for who they are. So if your people are those people that maybe they're just the ones that wait for you to ask. But that has a lot to do with perception and what your dream or fantasy is of what grandparents are. And every grandparent is different. My grandparent, shoot, they weren't in my life, so it just kind of is what it is. Right. But see, you got to get rid of the guilt, Mandy. You got to get rid of the guilt because there shouldn't be any guilt in there. The thing is, the sacrifice of whatever you're doing is either going to be worth it or it's not, at the end of the day. And I know a lot of times we're making sacrifices in this moment of what feels like it's right, but later on it's like, damn, I should have thought about that, or damn, maybe I should have did it different. I don't have too many regrets on what I sacrificed in sometimes losing people, or walking away from people. That stuff I really don't regret, because I just look at the situation, and after time it's like I could see why it went the way it did. It is what it is. The only real regret that I, like I said, talk about is that time spent with my child. That's one that I have. So Aaron Smith is a scammer. We're gonna block him, or her, or whoever the fuck it is with the fake account. Um, so it doesn't matter if you're doing a career, it doesn't matter if you're having children, women who, or even men who decide to have a children and stay home, and they put their careers to the side. That's a sacrifice. For those people who don't have children, to go after their career, that's a sacrifice. The fucked up thing about a lot of it is that sometimes you don't end up getting what you want at the end, because you've sacrificed what you maybe could have created in those moments. You're not guaranteed to have kids later. You're not guaranteed to have kids now. You're not guaranteed to have a great career. You're not guaranteed to have a great career later. So in the moment when we're making these decisions, you're trying to make it in the best way with the information that you have. That's the biggest thing, is you're trying to make these decisions with the information of what you think is right in this moment. There are no guarantees of what's going to be later on. you know that was one of the things that I had to let go of, wanting like more children. Don't know if it's ever going to happen, but I had to let go period, whether it happens or it doesn't happen, to just let it go completely. um because it's just like, I guess it ain't happening. It's just one of those things, and you just got to kind of let go of things and not hold on to some things, because the sacrifice is there. Do I have time? Fuck no, I don't have time. I don't even have time barely for myself. And those are the things you have to be realistic with yourself about when you want certain things, even in a relationship basis. There's times where I'm like, man, I want a full on relationship in this. And then I'm like, damn, do I have time for that? Well, actually, I fucking don't. You can make some time for some things, but it's not going to be the fairy tale that you have in your mind unless you sacrifice something. So, are you willing to sacrifice some things to have the other things that you want? Because there will be a balance. There just always is, right? Shit, I ain't always available to watch nobody's kids. I don't give a fuck if I'm grandma or not. Hell no. Just because you're a grandparent does not mean that you are a fucking babysitter on call. No ma'am. uh, yeah. You got to remember that, because a lot of people think just because your parents are your parents that they're automatically on call babysitters, and you have the wrong fucking perception. I'm not the on call babysitter. I'm like, I don't care if you think I'm home. No. Mm-mm. Yeah. Maybe have a conversation with them, Heather. I think some of it is your assumption of some things, and unless you've had a conversation with them to ask them or express how you feel, I kind of don't know if you really understand their part. You know what I mean? Because sometimes we can judge a situation too soon or too fast and not have the other part. We can make those assumptions, and so maybe there's a conversation that needs to be had. I'm like, 17 is grown. They will be okay. Um, I noticed when my daughter got to her teens, I knew, like, I'm like, okay, she's good. Even though I was not about to go work no 3 jobs at that time, I was like, no, fuck that. I'm gonna keep this one job. So just on the aspect of anything in life, Are you willing to sacrifice? I personally, at this part of my life, um, I don't feel sacrificing relationships, family is worth money. I just don't feel it anymore. There was times, and I'm a very ambitious person, don't get me wrong. And I still got a lot of things that I'm working on in my life to complete. But I still don't feel like money is ever worth your time from your family. Um, and especially your children or your partner. Because, yeah, you could take time away from your family, as in your mother, father, sister, brother, cousins, and all that. As people get older, they have their own lives, they're living their own lives. But your children and your partner, I feel like, is different. Those are the people that are immediately in your family, those are your immediate in your home. And those are the people that you should make sure that you're taking the time to love, to cherish, and to show them that you fucking care. Not by material goods, though. Material goods are never going to show them that you care. It is the time, the conversations, the support, showing up for their, whatever they do, in school or whatnot, activities. Yeah. My kids used to think that. They used to think I was an on call babysitter until I was like, nope. And then it was like, but you're home doing nothing. And it was like, yeah, I'm doing exactly what I want to do, is nothing. Leave me alone. And they would get offended. And it would be like, I'm glad you're offended. Maybe go think about that. And then I remember it's like, well, can you just, you're in the home. Can they just, if I put them to sleep? It was like, no, no. Sometimes I did it like, all right. But I think a lot of kids and family get entitled. And remember, when you choose to have a child, I don't give a fuck how many people are like, yeah, it takes a village to raise a child. That village ain't gonna be there at 3 a.m. with your ass. The village ain't gonna be there when your ass need a fucking weekend, okay? The village ain't gonna be there when when you're fucking dead ass tired and you just need a break. The village is gonna be checked out because the village is over there. And you gotta kind of remember that. No one's entitled, no one is um obligated to watch your child for you. No one, no one is obligated to fucking watch your child. And that's something that I had to learn, because I was always like, mom. And then I was just like, I just need a break. Like, and sometimes my brother, my mom would be like, no, they weren't available. And that was hard. Like, damn, I'm about to lose my fucking mind, but nobody is available. It is what it is. You sign up for it. And I get it. We all need breaks from our children, but no one's obligated to watch your kids. You do have to understand that. No one. They are yours. You signed up for it. You didn't sign up for a 1 year agreement at a time. You signed up for whenever they get out of your home. I'm still trying to get this 25-year-old out of my house. Somebody give me some tips. Somebody give me some tips on how to get your child out of your house forever and ever and always. I just want to go back to walking around naked is what I really want. Um, so what are you sacrificing right now? And is it fucking worth it? Is it worth it? If it's worth it, keep doing what you're doing. If it's not, make some changes. Because that's where the shoulda, coulda, wouldas come into it. That's what the looking back comes into it. When we're sitting here like, damn, did I make the right decisions going after whatever I went for, So no matter if it's love, career, whatever, family, make sure that your sacrifices are warranted. Make sure that you're sacrificing for the right reasons. And if you're sacrificing to be selfish, own that shit. Own it. You don't got to make no excuses. Own it. You know what? I don't I this is me. I'm doing for me, about me. This ain't about nobody else. Own it. No one has to fucking understand your sacrifices but you. You're the only one who needs to understand it, right? Right, right, right. Well, my mom always lived with me. So my mom lived with me for years. So it wasn't like my daughter got to go for the weekend. It wasn't like she was gone for the weekend, you know? Exactly. When the kids barely left a year ago, I think it was like a year ago, and then they came back. But I just, started getting into my walk around the house naked. And I was like, oh shit, this is freeing. This is fucking freeing. Like, you don't know shit till you go walk around the house naked. Like, that shit is like bomb as fuck. I say everybody needs to try it at least once. And you don't realize how freeing it is to just walk around your house, boobies everywhere, ass out. Like, it's awesome, or sleep naked. Because I've always slept with clothes on. I've been a mom since a teen. I've been a mom since a teen. My kid has been in my bed. She was in my bed for too many fucking years at that. And I would always have everybody else's kids, my nieces and nephews, my goddaughter included, would always be in my home in my fucking bed. So I always had clothes on. The most I slept was, with a t-shirt with no bra, but it'd be those, those sports tees, those sports tank tops and shit. So when they finally, like, I've only had 2 times where they've like left my house, and I was just like, oh shit, like this is so fucking awesome. My house is clean. Everything's where I left it. There's no extra mess. And I don't have to deal with anyone's fucking attitudes and shit, periods and all this other crazy. Because, women, we know how it is when there's too many women in one fucking house. Like, it's a lot. It's a lot to deal with. Yeah. I think it's awesome. If you don't have kids at home, just walk around naked and see how you feel. I suggest that everyone walk around naked and see how you feel. I think it's fucking awesome. It's an awesome experience. And that's my thing. That's my goal. I keep telling you that's my goal. For you guys to move so I can get back to being free in my home, being free. And then you guys will know that when I'm here, I'll have no pants on and shit. I actually got pants on right now. Just be like chilling. Hey, y'all. Right. I wouldn't either. The only reason why I do is because of the kiddos, and I'm looking forward to them moving to their own space.